So the main reason why I think this camera is one of the best options for beginners who are learning how to create videos and post on YouTube is because you can turn this camera on, basically walk over to your desk, do a little bit of an adjustment, and you're ready to shoot your video like that. That's it. And if at any time you want to change like the camera angle to get like a different shot, you can literally just pick it up, put it somewhere else, adjust it, and there, you've got a different angle. In case you're new here, my name's Tim. I'm an engineer by day, musician by night. I do creative things here on this channel. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about this new camera that I got, which is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So like, I'm not sponsored by this company or anything. I'm pretty new to filmmaking. So if you're like me and you're learning how to film yourself and you might be intimidated by using a camera that's maybe not your iPhone or not your smartphone, maybe this is the video that will convince you to get a camera like this. So to clarify, I have the Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Combo, which comes in this little case here. I think if you are getting the Osmo Pocket 3, you shouldn't be just getting the camera by itself. You should be getting the Creator Combo, even if it's a few $100s extra. The reason why I say that is because if you were to go with a more traditional camera, this is another really popular option for beginner vloggers. This is the Sony ZV-E10. If you were to go with something like this, I don't think it's good enough just to get the camera. You do eventually need to have some other things around it. So for example, in order to get good audio, you do need a shotgun mic or similar, and it just sits on top of the camera like this. You also need something to put the camera on. So this is like a U-rig stand that I got from Amazon. And then you also need something to connect the camera to the stand as well. Which brings me to my second reason as to why I think the Osmo Pocket 3, at least with the Creator Combo, is a great beginner option. And that's because it is an all-in-one package. You do get everything you need to start out, especially if you're doing this at the first time and it's really overwhelming. You don't know what to do or what to buy. This really covers you. This has got you covered. So this brings me to the next reason why this camera is super great, and that is because the footage that comes out of this camera is actually really awesome, despite the fact that it's just a small gimbal camera. So if you ever tried to film on your smartphone footage might look something a little bit like this. Given back then, I didn't have the right lights to light up my footage properly, but nevertheless, smartphone footage is going to be a little overly sharpened and it's just going to feel a little bit flat. If you want better looking footage, you're going to have to be upgrading, and you can be the judge. Like, you can tell me if this footage looks good. I think it looks pretty good, especially considering that this is a gimbal camera and not a traditional large lens camera. Now, the really great thing about it is that it can shoot in 4K and D-Log-M, and that's just some really fancy ways of saying that you're going to be able to edit this footage and it's going to be really nice and crisp and clear, and you're going to have a lot of flexibility to do whatever you want with it in post-production. Whether you do that in DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro, you're going to be able to do quite a bit with this camera. There's a lot of other YouTubers out there that are much better at filmmaking than I am, so I'm going to link their videos below, and hopefully those links are going to help you set up this camera for the best performance. Oh yeah, this camera can also shoot shorts. All you have to do is flick the screen and it becomes vertical. That's cool. Hey, look, the camera is vertical. That means it's a short. Also, this is another reason why I think the Creator Combo is absolutely fantastic, and that's because it comes with this microphone that you can use for your footage. And if you're doing talking head videos and you don't want to have the microphone in plain sight like this, you can literally do what I've done for the past how many minutes or so you've been watching, and just have it on the table in front of you out of frame, so no one has to see that a microphone is present. Now, let's say you had a ZV-E10 set up like this, and you had a shotgun mic. You can imagine that if I was speaking to this camera, I can't actually walk away from this camera too much because the audio will get worse and worse the further I walk away. But with this setup, I can really just, especially if I turn on the face tracking right here, I can just get up, continue to speak into the microphone. I can change my shot. I can walk away. I can walk away as far as I can. I can even squat. My knees. I can strafe to the left. I can go pretty far from the shot and walk away, and you're still going to be able to hear me because I'm speaking into the microphone. So this is really helpful if you're going to want to have more shots where you're not just speaking into a camera really close up. Now, another great reason to have a camera like this is the fact that I can do this. This is the face tracking. If I want to get a proper frame shot with this gimbal camera, all I have to do is turn on the face tracking, get myself in a position where I like how the background looks. So let's say, for example, usually I want to be in the middle of my soundboards right here. Sorry, not my soundboards. These are my soundproofing, sound absorption panels. Usually I want that to be there, and usually I want why am I forgetting? I want my computer to be behind me. Once I get something that I'm happy with, I just turn face tracking off, and then I'm ready to go. And it just saves me so much time, honestly, especially when you're a beginner and you don't know what you're doing all the time. Now, the other thing that you can expect if you have a gimbal camera is that the stabilization on it is going to be super good. You can move around, and now stable footage is actually harder to get than you think. On this ZV-E10, I'm sorry I sound like I'm bashing this camera. I actually love this camera. It's a really high quality, really good vlogging camera. But the stabilization on this is not very good. And that's because, as far as I understand, the sensor is larger, so that actually makes it a lot harder to stabilize. This camera seems to be able to get away with being a really small, tiny sensor, yet still produces really good footage, and obviously it's got physical stabilization inbuilt, so footage is really nice and stable with this. I took it out to a Star Wars fan exhibit that I went to recently, and I was walking around with it, and even under poorer lighting conditions it did really well. So now the final thing I want to say about this camera, it really encourages you to use it. Like any other creative, sometimes I struggle with procrastination, sometimes I struggle with getting the motivation to start to do something, and especially if it's something intimidating and overwhelming, like learning how to film for the first time. Having gear that is hard to set up and hard to start using is only just going to disincentivize you to actually start filming and to start doing something creative. And the fact that I can just turn this on, I can track my face, I can frame my shot so easily within a few button presses, it just encourages me to use it. On this channel, I want to hopefully empower and inspire people to realize that even if you have limited time, you can still turn on the camera and just record something and put something out in the world and be happy that you did it. So this camera is really good for that. I highly encourage, if you have the money, to pick this up, because this is a really good first camera. So yeah, those are just a few quick reasons as to why I think this camera is super awesome for a beginner or anyone who's starting out on YouTube or anyone who's starting out in filming. If you would like me to go more in depth of how I would use it for my music covers and things like that, let me know and I'll try and put something out. But otherwise, till next time, I'll catch you later. See you, bye.